timeless.
It's timeless.
I don't think you can replace it.
Irreplaceable.
I think pretty much
invaluable.
everything else you can replace, but not us.
Yeah, that's we did make I say we. I did make an image for our group chat of baby Sagar in glasses and a tiny suit yesterday. So there are some things that they can do that they get right. The machines can do really good work, Crystal. But in all seriousness, I think the human touch is important to way more professions than a lot of people who are super bullish on AI realize. And so I'm actually sympathetic to the point that venture capitalism has a human element that's important. Just like I'm sympathetic to most jobs having a human element that's important, because even if it's true, I think it is true that VC is probably one of those areas that you could do so much of it with generative AI. I don't think any of these careers should have or many of these careers should actually have a lot of this outsourced without a significant chunk of the human element remaining. I don't even think that's good for efficiency, to be honest, if we define efficiency as also providing for the common good in an efficient way. So it's sort of a funny two sides of the coin, or it's almost like catch-22 with Andreessen's point there, because I do yes, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But thank you for saying that you, as the person who is helping orchestrate this mass transformation of the labor force, will be protected or should be protected,
right?
Because you're just that smart.
Because he recognizes his own humanity, even as he doesn't recognize anyone else's humanity, and how essential that could be to society, the world, et cetera. Because it's also not like, okay, these guys will say out in the open, our goal is to effectively replace all human labor.
Yep.
And we'll talk openly about how it's going to require a complete change of the social contract. And but they're just forging ahead without actually laying any of the groundwork for this purported massive change and destruction of the requirement for any human labor and upending of the social contract, et cetera. They're just pushing forward with no brakes on whatsoever. And by the way, I mean, there is something really very not only anti-human, but Naomi Klein makes this case that it's also anti-creation, because you are feeding into these AI machines all of these resources that the world, the planet, the beings that live on this planet, not just humans, need to be able to thrive in order to create our own replacements. This sort of mirror world replacement for all of us. And but in any case, not replacement for him, because he is essential and could never be replaced by these machines. An
essential worker.
Yeah, he is an essential worker. He's the essential worker. I want to actually skip forward to E3 because Derek Thompson wrote a piece tracking the employment data for college graduates, and there are some potential signs there that AI is already starting to hit in terms of eliminating the need for some college graduates. He says something alarming is happening to the job market. And some of the data that he relies on here is the same that we've been looking at how much how many college grads are applying to law school. Now, we read that as a recession indicator of if you are graduating from college and things are not looking too great with the whole trade war situation, you're like, you know what? Let me postpone my entry into the job force by going into law school and see how things are in a few years, see if things have gotten better. But he is tracking what is called the grad gap, the total employment minus recent grad unemployment. So how much do you benefit from having a college degree? And basically that metric has fallen off a cliff in terms of job prospects for new college graduates. And one of the theoretical possibilities for why that is the case is that, instead of hiring 20 graduates, maybe you get 2 and ChatGPT. Because a lot of what new college graduates do going into white-collar jobs is this sort of spreadsheet jockeying and pulling data and doing the grunt work analysis for more senior people at whatever company that you're at. And that is the sort of thing that you could easily see ChatGPT or Grok or whatever helping to provide that initial research and analysis. So, it's not clear that that's what's going on here, but it is very possible that we're already seeing in the data the way that AI is going to impact the labor force.
Yeah, and the law school, we talked about this yesterday. The law school applications being up is quite, that's a stark indicator of what people are encountering. And it's graduation month right now, so we're going to get a whole flood of, I think, anecdotal reports and probably data too about where people are landing in such an uncertain environment. And, we remember as millennials how the recession changed that generation, that changed our generation, completely shaped our generation, it shaped our politics and our culture. And we could be looking at another really sort of crucible type moment for Gen Z.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, he says today's college graduates are entering an economy that is relatively worse for young college grads than any month on record going back 4 decades. Yeah. So even worse than the environment that millennials graduated into during the financial crisis.
And when there's uncertainty, when there's uncertainty at the level that there is now, you're not adding, right? You're sort of risk averse, and you're staying with what you have, and so it's just incredibly tough right now. So it was already actually pretty hard based on how the labor force has changed and based on what people are actually studying in college. But this is really difficult.
One other piece of this that we just wanted to mention, which just is pretty wild, put the second element here up on the screen. So apparently in California, AI bots are now stealing millions of dollars in federal financial aid. They basically use AI to mass enroll in community colleges and then, pocket this, the Pell Grant aid. And then, and that makes it unavailable for actual students. They call them, the scammers are known as Pell runners, and they disappear after they collect their $7,400 federal grant. This is with regard to California community colleges in particular. But, this is a pretty widespread scam that's going on right now. As early as 2021, the chancellor's office in California estimated that 20% of the applications they were receiving were fraudulent. Now, increasingly sophisticated AI tools have made the problem worse. Recent data suggests around 34% of California community college applicants are fake, despite California allocating over $150 million since 2022 towards cybersecurity to help authenticate students and combat fraud at community colleges. Scammers have successfully stolen more financial aid with each passing year. So,
shocking.
Cool.
Yep. This is the future, the brave new world.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.